Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be taking a look at Surah Quraysh.
Oh, very nice.
And I think this is going to be a really interesting one for us to kind of unpack and explore.
I agree.
So we're going to be looking specifically at the commentary from Tafsir al-Amthal.
Yeah.
And that's going to give us a lot of the historical and spiritual insights that we're hoping to kind of glean from these verses.
Why don't we just start by listening to the surah itself? This is an English translation of Surah Quraysh. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, for the familiarity of Quraysh, their familiarity with the journeys of winter and summer, so let them worship the Lord of this house, who has fed them against hunger and made them secure from fear. You know, it's amazing how much is packed into these few lines.
Yeah.
Like, you look at it and you're like, oh, this is short. But then when you really start digging in, you see all these layers of meaning and historical context. It's really incredible.
Yeah, it's like a window into the past.
Yeah.
But also kind of like a mirror, reflecting back at us today.
Oh, I like that.
So let's just jump right in.
Okay.
The surah opens with, for the familiarity of Quraysh.
Oh.
Now, right off the bat, that word familiarity,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of sparks my curiosity.
Yeah.
What's the deeper significance there?
Well, the Arabic word used is ilaf. And as Tafsir al-Amthal explains, it goes beyond just, a casual acquaintance.
Right.
It really speaks to this deep-rooted connection, a sense of belonging and comfort that the Quraysh tribe had with Makkah. They were the dominant force. Their history is intertwined with the Kaaba,
Of course.
the holiest site in Islam. So imagine they were the guardians of this sacred space, responsible for its upkeep and the safety of the pilgrims who flocked to it from all corners of the world.
So they were more than just residents. They held this really unique position
Exactly.
of power and responsibility.
Yes.
And this familiarity, it wasn't just about location.
Yeah.
It was about their whole identity.
Right.
Their relationship with this sacred land and their role in maintaining its sanctity.
Precisely. And the Tafsir points out that this familiarity, it wasn't just a coincidence.
Right.
It was a blessing, a divine favor bestowed upon them.
Oh.
They were granted security and stability in this land, allowing them to flourish as a tribe.
So it's like they were given this incredible gift,
Right.
this of rootedness and purpose.
Exactly.
But, it makes me think.
Yeah.
Familiarity can sometimes breed complacency.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was the case with the Quraysh?
That's a really insightful observation.
Yeah.
And it is something that the Tafsir delves into as well.
Okay.
You see, the Quraysh were known for their successful trade caravans.
Yes.
These journeys span vast distances from Yemen in the winter to Syria in the summer.
Wow.
And this economic prosperity, fueled by their strategic location and the security provided by the Kaaba, brought them considerable wealth and influence.
So they were thriving in a material sense.
Absolutely.
They had this deep familiarity with the land, the security that allowed their trade to flourish,
Right.
and a position of authority within their community.
Yeah.
Was that enough?
That's where things get interesting.
Right.
And where the surah takes this thought-provoking turn.
Yeah.
Because despite all these outward blessings,
Ah.
the Tafsir suggests that the Quraysh were missing something crucial.
Well,
A true understanding of the source of their good fortune.
they were familiar with the blessings, but perhaps not familiar with the blesser.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly it. And that disconnect,
Right.
that lack of deeper awareness, is what the next verses challenge us to confront. But before we delve into that, let's pause for a moment and consider this.
Right.
What does familiarity mean in our own lives?
Ooh, that's a great question. Makes me wonder if we ever take our own blessings for granted.
Yeah.
The things we're so used to, our homes, our families, even our health. Do we ever stop to appreciate them as gifts,
Yeah.
as signs of a greater power at work in our lives?
And that's the beauty of these verses.
Yeah.
They invite us to go beyond the surface level, to question our assumptions and to examine our own hearts.
Okay.
But we'll dive deeper into that in just a moment. You were asking about familiarity in our own lives. It's fascinating, isn't it? Yeah.
How easily we can become accustomed to blessings.
Yeah.
Almost forgetting that they're blessings at all.
Yeah, it's like that saying, we don't know what we've got till it's gone.
Right, exactly.
But with the Quraysh, it seems like they didn't fully recognize what they had while they had it.
That's the heart of it, and why these next verses are so powerful.
Okay.
They come right after, describing the Quraysh's familiarity, their journeys, their prosperity. Almost like setting the stage,
Okay, so what do these verses say?
All right, I'm on the edge of my seat. They say, and I'll read the English translation, So let them worship the Lord of this house, who has fed them against hunger and made them secure from fear.
Wow, talk about a direct call to action.
Right,
After
so-
all that talk of blessings, it's like a sudden shift in tone, almost like a
that's-
wake-up call.
Exactly. Tafsir al-Amthal emphasizes this point.
Okay.
It's not a suggestion, it's a command.
Right.
And the language is so striking. Fed them against hunger, secure from fear.
Yeah.
These are basic human needs addressed directly. Yeah, it's like saying, look, you've been provided for in every way. Don't you see the hand that's sustaining you?
Exactly.
Wow.
And yet, as the Tafsir points out, the Quraysh at that time were worshiping idols. They had this magnificent house, the Kaaba, a symbol of divine presence, but they directed their worship elsewhere.
Man, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's like having this incredible feast laid out before you, but choosing to nibble on crumbs instead.
Right.
Why do you think they did that? I mean, the blessings were right there in front of them.
Well, it's complex,
Yeah.
but Tafsir al-Amthal offers some clues.
Okay.
The commentary talks about how deeply entrenched the Quraysh were in their existing beliefs and social structures.
Yeah.
They had a whole system built around these idols, rituals, and hierarchies.
Right, so it wasn't just about personal belief.
No,
It was tied up with their culture, their politics, their entire way of life.
exactly.
Challenging, that would have been challenging to say the least.
It would have been incredibly challenging.
Yeah.
But that's also where the deeper meaning emerges, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes me think, even today,
Uh-huh.
don't we sometimes cling to familiar patterns,
Yeah,
even when they're no longer serving us?
absolutely.
Maybe it's fear of the unknown, or maybe we just get comfortable with what we know,
Yeah.
even if it's not the best for us.
That's a profound connection.
Yeah.
And it gets to the heart of what Tafsir al-Amthal highlights about these verses.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about the parash back then.
Right.
It's a message that resonates across time.
So what's the message for us today? What are we supposed to take away from this?
Well, first, it's a call to gratitude,
Okay.
to really acknowledge the blessings in our lives, both big and small,
Right.
but it goes deeper than that.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's about recognizing the source of those blessings, to see the interconnectedness of everything, the hand that provides the force that sustains us,
Okay.
and then to align our lives accordingly.
Whoa. So it's not just about saying thank you.
No.
It's about living in a way that reflects that understanding, that connection to something bigger than ourselves.
You got it.
Wow.
It's like the Quraysh had the familiarity, the physical closeness, but they missed that deeper connection.
Right.
The verses invite us to go further to cultivate that true familiarity with the divine.
Okay, so how do we cultivate that deeper familiarity with the divine? It feels almost like a paradox, right?
Yeah.
How can we become more familiar with something that's ultimately beyond our full comprehension?
Yeah, it's a beautiful question, and Tafsir al-Amthal offers us a pathway.
Okay.
It starts with contemplation,
Yeah.
with really observing the world around us and recognizing the signs of divine presence.
So not just going through the motions of life,
Right,
but
yeah.
actually pausing to appreciate the sunrise, the rain, the way a plant grows.
Yeah.
Those everyday miracles that we often overlook.
Precisely, it's about shifting our perspective from taking things for granted to seeing them as gifts. And as we do that, we start to notice the intricate connections, the web of creation that points back to a single source.
It's like suddenly realizing that you're standing in a magnificent cathedral
Yeah,
instead of just seeing a bunch of bricks and mortar.
exactly.
You know, there's a sense of wonder that wasn't there before.
That's a fantastic analogy, and Tafsir al-Amthal emphasizes that this contemplation,
Yeah.
it isn't a passive activity.
Okay.
It's about actively seeking knowledge, pondering the deeper meanings behind things.
So it's not just about feeling grateful, it's about understanding why we should be grateful.
Yes.
Learning about the divine attributes, the wisdom behind creation, the purpose of our existence.
Exactly. It's a journey of both the heart and the mind.
Hmm.
And as we deepen our understanding, that sense of awe and gratitude naturally translates into action.
So it's not enough to just think about it or feel it. We have to live it.
Right.
Our actions, our choices should reflect this deeper understanding of our connection to the divine.
That's the core of it. Tafsir al-Amthal reminds us that true worship isn't confined to rituals or specific actions.
Yep.
It's about aligning our entire being, our thoughts, words, and deeds with the divine will.
It's like becoming a walking, talking embodiment of that gratitude, the awareness,
Yeah.
living in a way that honors the source of all blessings.
Beautifully put.
Wow.
And that brings us back to the Quraysh.
Okay.
They had this incredible opportunity, this unique familiarity with the Kaaba, the house of God, but As Tafsir al-Amthal highlights,
Yeah.
they missed the mark.
They got caught up in the worldly aspects, the trade, the power, the prestige, and lost sight of the deeper spiritual truth that was right there in front of them.
It's a cautionary tale, for sure. A reminder that even with all the outward blessings,
Yeah.
even with physical proximity to the sacred, we can still miss the point if our hearts aren't aligned.
And that's the challenge for all of us, isn't it?
It is.
To stay connected, to keep that awareness alive amidst the distractions and temptations of the world.
It's a lifelong journey, no doubt. But Surah Quraysh, through the lens of Tafsir al-Amthal, offers us a powerful compass.
By reminding us of the importance of gratitude contemplation and aligning our lives with the divine will, it guides us toward that deeper, more meaningful familiarity with the source of all blessings.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we all have the potential to cultivate that connection, to truly worship the Lord of this house, both within ourselves and in the world around us.
What a beautiful way to sum it up. So as we conclude our deep dive into Surah Quraysh, I leave you with this question. What does familiarity with the divine mean to you? And how can you nurture that connection starting today?
That's a question worth pondering for sure, and I hope this exploration has inspired you to embark on your own journey of discovery. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep seeking, keep reflecting, and keep the conversation going.